Hey guys, it's Alexis. I am back with a brand new video. Happy Monday as always. Thank you for being here and joining me for my video. Today I am talking about a client success story where one of my clients saw and felt and really experienced in her 3D reality her specific person changing, morphing, conforming before her eyes. So everyone likes that kind of story. So I thought, why not talk about that one? We're still fresh into the new year. Happy 2026. And yeah, this is going to be a fun video. I do not think it's going to be that long. So for those of you who like and who have told me that you like my shorter videos, you get this one, okay? I have a little bit of a nasal thing. Before I get started though, just a reminder that the links for booking one-on-one coaching with me are in the box below. The links for booking hypnosis with me are in the box below. All of the links to my courses, pre-recorded audios, everything that you can get that I offer is in one of the links in the box below, okay? I also want to say, like I always say, if you do not see anything on the online calendar that works for your schedule, please email us at sessions@createyourfuture.co and we can get you sorted. That being said, I wanted to give the caveat today that if you think that I mean that there's spots available before the first available date, that's not true. What you see on the online calendar is my closest date available. It's like booking something around that time or after that time. If you don't see something, that's what I'm talking about, okay? My soonest available is generally speaking online. But if it looks weird, then email us, okay? We're here to help you. I'm here to get you sorted. I'm here to get you supported. And this client, I want to say, you guys, right, did a lot of coaching. People do a lot of coaching and they usually require a lot of support, consistent support, an accountability partner, someone to talk things through on some kind of cadence, okay? Clients figure out how often they want to see me, how they want to see me also, because I do offer, as I've already said, coaching, hypnosis. Some people like that. Some people just like coaching because they're not into hypnosis. Totally get it. No problem. There have been a few people over the years that have just done hypnosis. That's few and far between. And usually they end up doing at least a couple coaching sessions. Okay. But this is the thing. If you're trying to get a session with me and you're always doing it last minute and you're going on the online calendar and you're trying to book a session out of anxiety to solve your problem, that's the problem, probably at the root of your other problems. So if you can have the resources to create consistent coaching, that's the best so that your mind understands the consistency. This is never about me trying to do a PSA or a sales pitch. I'm not doing that. I am just saying what works, because also with the new year, I've been asked this a lot. Like, how often should I see you? What do people do that get the best success rate? Now, how often you should see me? Like I already said, if you want to be a new client or you're coming back and you want to be a client again, or you just want to hear what I say about this and you're already a consistent client, is that the consistency that you choose is up to you and your resources. But having some kind of consistency, having sessions booked, your mind knowing that you have it to look forward to, especially if you're in dark times, difficult situations, your relationship looks and feels like it's down in the dumps, okay? To solve it, figure it out, get through it, and recreate it, you're probably going to have to tell me a lot of things. It can never be just done ever in one session that's 45 minutes. All of my sessions that are coaching or hypnosis are all 45 minutes. But I'm just being transparent about that. Is that one session is never, ever one and done. Okay. If you think that you've come to conscious creation, let's say you just heard about this, you just heard like, oh my gosh, I create my reality, my thoughts create, I'm going to book a session, it's going to be one and done. Absolutely not. Okay. Working with me is a getting into a deep inner process. If you're watching this video and you've been watching my other videos and you've been wondering, should I book sessions? Maybe I'm saying this all for you. I have never, ever in the history of, now I have been working at this company, Create Your Future. I figured it out in my mind. I think it's been over 4 years, you guys. That's a long time. Okay. So it's a long time to be doing this and to see the clients at the level I do, and that I've done this for this long. Like, I'm very proud of myself. Okay. So after all of that time, I have never, ever, ever talked about this in a video. It wasn't even my plan today. Actually, I was going to sit down with a success story and I was like, quick video, success story. I'm going to get lunch with my son. He's watching Peppa the Pig and having popcorn in the other room. I was like, great, easy peasy day. I'm going to bang out like a 15-minute video. Okay. Apparently that's not maybe going to happen. Okay. But that's the thing. I want to say consistency is what matters so that your mind also hears dependability. It's like if you would go to a stereotypical psychotherapist, you would never ever think that just one session, and you would never ever led to be believing that just one session is going to help you unearth the issues. The exact same thing is like working with a coach like me. I am a hypnotherapist. I am a life coach. I am NLP coach. I am life mentor. I am the big sister, the older sister, the aunt. No, not really. And I don't think mom, but the older sister mentor to all of my clients. Okay. So that requires building a relationship together and for you to uncover the stuff that's in the way that shows up in your relationship. Okay. So, and I'm going to be, anyone else have a toddler at home? They get these super cute bottles. So that's what this client did though. She did lots of coaching. And I'm not saying that lots of coaching is for everybody either, but in her case, having the consistency helped. Having the dependability helped. Talking through things. You would be surprised the things that people end up telling me like at session number 10. Okay. People tell me things like a little thing and I'll say, wait a minute. I want you to go back to that. What'd you just say? Talk to me about what's that? What happened? When did that happen? And it is just people opening up and talking to me. Okay. So she had that similar kind of process. Again, this was her individual process. I am not saying this for you to compare it to your individual process. Everything is individual. You are a unique snowflake. So therefore you require specific affirmations, a specific mental diet, a specific outlook and tools to understand how to approach this better. And that's the other thing I'm going to talk about in this video is she and I created, and we talked about a lot of tools that she could use to manage stress, manage anxiety, manage overwhelm, and have kind of like a toolkit, a toolbox, because she was going through lots and lots and lots of ups and downs. Okay. All right. That is the end of my disclaimer. Okay. I'm not going to give up like the information about like how many sessions she did. I never did that. I feel like that's way too much information, way too confidential, and all that stuff. But it was, it had a cadence to it and it had consistency. She always had her sessions booked. Those are my clients that do that. I love that because that tells me that also you're committed and you're doing the work. You're putting in the mental diet. We're uncovering things. We're getting to the next level. My purpose here as your coach is to be your accountability partner, to somewhat be your cheerleader, right? Even though I don't say that because it sounds like I'm raw for 45 minutes, which I theoretically just can't be, right? Who can? But, you want to tell your mind that you're really doing this, that you're really going to finally get a hold of your inner mind, a hold of your subconscious mind through your conscious mind, commit to it, stick to it, see what happens, and get along and get it going. Because like I say to everybody, and like I've been saying, like, there's been like a diatribe I've been saying to everyone, like I have never said that the recreation of a person and your relationship is easy. Okay. You actually want to accept and expect that working on new thoughts, getting into new territories with thinking is going to be number one, outside your comfort zone, right? Your comfort zone is whatever is going on because that's where your mind is projecting and creating comfortability. So the purpose of recreating your specific person, recreating the relationship, thinking new thoughts and sticking to them, it might sound cliche, but you really are going outside the comfort zone of what the mind perceives is safe. Okay. So that, like, hell no, is not going to be easy. Okay. It's going to feel weird. It is going to challenge your level of comfortability. It will, though, take you to new heights, be very rewarding, and create once and for all the connection with the person that you're desiring. Okay. But it's not like an easy route. Okay. That's why I've done like so many videos about you end up going through the fire. Things can get worse before they get better. Things can explode and then they calm down, right? Buckle up. is what I tend to say. Like, let's get ready. Okay. That's what I've always found in my own reality too. Like when stuff starts to happen, when you're working on it, it's like, oh yeah, that means that this is really happening. But like, whoa. Okay. No one told me it was going to be like right at Disneyland, like so beautiful and fun, but like what? All right, you guys. Okay, let me get to the success story without further ado. All right. Dear Alexis, I just wanted to finally write in some kind and loving and supportive words to you and to share with your audience my words of success. I am finally happy to say that my ex and I are now back together better than ever, as you have always said in so many of your videos. But the most important thing is that I understand now who I am. I have once and for all found and created my own inner sense of security, stability, and safety. Therefore, I understand that the relationship is at the control of me. It's at the control of my thoughts. And that when I begin to spiral, I've actually noticed that things have been taking also an interesting turn, meaning, and she put this in all caps, he has been there for me multiple times, period. He has held my hand when I have had a meltdown. He's even been there for me when I've had a spiral. We have been able to grow closer and closer together than I ever thought it was possible with a human being. ... Now, I want to get into my backstory. I began working with Alexis about 8 months ago. She and I did consistent coaching, consistent sessions, and I once in a while did hypnosis sessions, and I had already purchased her hypnosis audios through the website. I want to say that the consistency of this really helped me stay on track, build a relationship with Alexis, and now I feel like I have her as a dependable accountability partner, coach, therapist, hypnotherapist for life. Ha! How amazing. Okay. And she put in a little bit something kind of confidential. Back to my backstory. After our initial first breakup, I found conscious manifesting and creating your reality on YouTube, like I've seen that a lot of people do. And honestly, everyone, it made me super confused. I was doing so many techniques. I was driving myself crazy. I was watching so many YouTube people. And then I found Alexis. I actually watched her videos for quite a many months and many moons. And I would sit up when I was so sad over the breakup. And then I finally booked a coaching session. So at the time when I booked the session, I was also having lists of affirmations. I was doing scripting and I was doing meditations while I was sleeping. She helped me actually create a customized plan for managing my stress using various tools that, no, they were not exactly the mental diet, but she had me do things that would support my mental health and my mental awareness and my mental capabilities. Wow, I didn't know she put capabilities. It's a pretty big word. And so once I had that in place, it was really, really helpful so that I knew when I was spiraling out of control about my SP while we were broken up, I knew how to get on track to therefore think of him appropriately. Flash forward to now, my SP got back in contact with me about a month ago. And now, after he told me he had to get back together with me, he had always been thinking about me. He was totally obsessed with me. He could only see a future with me and that he wants to be with me forever. We had 3 dates and now we are back together better than ever. If I can do this, you can do this too. And I just want you to know that. Thank you, Alexis, so much for your ongoing support. And I can't wait to tell you of how great our dates go. And for my birthday, we have plans, and to tell you that at our next session. All right, I got a little bit lost in the personal information. All right, so you guys, this is Logan. If you're new to my videos, this is my my son. He turns 4 in the second quarter of this year. So he's about 3.5. All right, so you have anything else to say? Do you want to say hi, everybody? Can anyone translate that? All right. So you guys, let me just focus here. So the thing is, you know, I just keep doing these videos because the rest of the week is pretty busy. And then I'm with him. So I'm doing it all at one time. So yes, she can do this. You can do this. Okay. If you need help, if you're a current client or you're booking a session and you want me to help you figure out a stress reduction plan, things to do, how to go about it that are outside of your chosen affirmations, please bring it up with me and we can create a customized plan for you. I've got a lot of tools and tricks I put together over the years. that we can figure out. But she and I did that. Now, the purpose of that, though, was to keep her on track, to keep her on the appropriate thoughts. Because why? Because her thoughts and her perspective, her perception on the breakup, what caused the breakup, who he was before the breakup, all mattered. Okay. That's why it's funny if someone, starts talking about SP and they're like, okay, I'm going to say this, but I just want you to know that I'm not really thinking this, because they've done the same thing she did. Watch a bunch of videos, get kind of some misinformation about consciously creating your reality. No, you want to understand. You need to. It is required. If you're recreating a person, if you're manifesting an ex-back, if you're recreating your husband, if you're recreating who your wife is, if you're recreating who they are, okay? It doesn't matter who it is. You still, though, need to understand the details of who the person has been. Why did the breakup happen? And who are you in the whole thing, right? Oh, I can't forget that self-concept. Who you are is the basis of all things, okay? So your thoughts of you, your thoughts of them need to be counter to who they were, because you created who they were. You created, you manifested, you projected, you pushed out. You are the author of the situation from before. But it also, you guys, doesn't mean that you were to blame. You're not to blame for the things that happen in your physical reality. It's like, look at it like it comes from you, and the you that was created when you were a little you that you didn't know was being created. So therefore it's not you to blame. Now, it's not your parents to blame either. It's not a caregiver's fault, because you chose those aspects to learn spiritually in your human experience. Okay. So to make it simple, you have to understand, like she and I worked really, really, really to uncover, unearth, why did the breakup happen? Who was he? What had been happening up till the breakup? Now, she had also said something I've heard over the years that was so classic, like, oh, Alexis, I was just so blindsided. I couldn't believe this happened. It just threw me for a loop. I don't know how I manifested this. I don't know how I created this. And she would say the term blindsided, shocked over and over again. Okay, my answer is this. And I told her, we have to understand that, were you really blindsided? Is this just something that you've been saying to everybody, so therefore you're saying it as part of the story? Because if you're saying that you were so blindsided, so shocked, so like it came out of nowhere, you guys, did it really? Does that really help you? A better way to look at anything is like, okay, so this is who I've been. Who was I in that relationship? Was I needy, desperate, wanting, lacking, scared, afraid? Did a lot of things trigger abandonment, rejection? Was I constantly wanting reassurance from the person? Was I always trying to get something from them? Did I think it was their job to provide safety, security, stability? Did I think that it was their job to give me all these things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Now, most people that come to this, we're doing a lot of that, okay? So if you can look at it that way, that will help you, instead of blaming yourself. Blaming it like, oh, I had all these thoughts and they created it. Well, yes, but the reason why you had those thoughts was because of that version of you that is lacking, the needing, the wanting, desperation. Because often what I find is this, right? When people still have a bit of that going on, the SP begins to come back, but it's never right, right? Alexis, he came back and then he said all these things. Can you believe this? I told him to leave, okay? The SP came back and then he went away. He came back and then he disappeared. He came back and didn't even say hi to me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm done. Okay, no. Do you see how the underlying feelings of lack, needing, wanting are leading you to still think that whatever he or she is doing is not enough? You have to stop it and associate that. No, it is enough and it is coming together. This client had a lot of that happening. There were glimpses, there were glimmers of him. He like called her and then said it was a butt dial and then hung up the phone. Oh yeah, I'm going to give these details because people always want to know what's the in-between phase. Okay, this is a really good one. This is so great. And wouldn't this drive most of us just totally nuts, okay? So I would talk her through this and be like, nope, it's happening. We're staying on track. Do your intentions. Do not reach out to him. That was my advice, okay? And let's keep going. And then look what happened, okay? So what happened along the way is he called her and then said it was a butt dial, okay? So did he call her or did he not? We don't know, but he got a phone call or she got a phone call. His mom called and they had a conversation because she also knew his mom. Okay. And then the mom said all these negative things about him, like out of the blue, but the mom and she had never really had conversations on the phone. Okay. And I think the mom was a little bit like inebriated, like, or something. Okay. She also began to see all of his family were requesting her on Facebook. I no longer have Facebook, but I can only imagine like nieces, nephews, cousins, like her kids also went to school with like one of his extended family. So like the kids were friends with the kids. It was like everybody besides him was coming back first. Oh, she ran into his ex-wife at a theme park. Okay. So now all of that happened over the span of like 6 months or so. Okay. And I think a little bit of them had been happening when she had been trying this before. Okay. So now all along, right, she would want to say to me, this is driving me crazy. Obviously, I'm doing something wrong. And then she would say this term, it's a partial manifestation. And I said, no, absolutely not. It means it's happening. You need to keep going. We need to stop giving it the meaning that it's partial. And we need to be saying that it's leading to the full culmination, the full manifestation of the relationship. Bottom line. Okay. It's almost like with her, I need to have like a gavel. So yeah, like stuff can get weird, you guys. You can get evidence, but you got to say that it's evidence leading you to the culmination of the major manifestation. You never want to say like, oh, it's partial or that's not enough. Or, you know, he came back and he acted the same, but he came back. So that means I'm doing something wrong. No, you want to instead do this. You want to have like a very little reaction to all the stuff going on in your 3D reality that you don't like anyways, so that you're like, oh, okay, that was another weird thing. So that means that this is obviously happening. It's obviously coming together and he's going to be calling me next. Okay. You just want to still stay on track. That means all the things are happening outside of you. Reality is changing. The energy of reality is changing and reconfiguring, conforming to you, but you have to say that it is. You got to be like, no, this is without a doubt means that it's happening. Like if stuff starts to get weird, it's my vote to be like, oh yeah, this is what happens to a lot of people. Like the only way for my reality to shift and change is for it to kind of like, you know, move around. Like if you think about it, the energy of reality, like all things around us, last time I checked, we're waves and particles. So everything around you is a wave or a particle. Everything that you see, all matter, are waves or particle, including you, including me. We're all energy at a molecular cellular level. So therefore, the molecules have to like rearrange to fit your thoughts. They have to rearrange to fit your new perspective. They have to reconform to figure out how to conform to the new story. And that is a process. That does not happen overnight. It is through consistency, persistency, and being dependable and consistent with the same thoughts, the same affirmations. It's like there's never a better analogy in the world always that I go to than athletics and fitness are the same as your mental diet. Okay. Like if you look at a lot of people who are bodybuilders, weightlifters, bikini models, right, who go on stage, they will often tell you how repetitive and how boring and how repetitive and boring two things are: their diet and their physical movements, right? They're just, it's years of building the muscle, of doing the same thing, not getting bored, not getting thwarted, not getting off the chosen program, not looking for something else like a shiny object and an answer. It's like, no, sticking to the program, sticking to the plan. I'm going to create this and I'm doing this, right? Instead of being like, you know, it's kind of funny because a lot of people do that, right? They'll do like one fitness class for like a month, and then another fitness class for like a month, and then do this for a month. Now, I suppose that if you tell yourself that it works for you, that it works for you. But there's a lot to be said for having, if you want security, stability, and safety, having the self-discipline, having the self-accountability, the dependability, consistency, and doing it for the long haul. That will get you what you want. What most people that talk to me are really done with is all of this stuff, right? He did this and he did that, and he said this and she said that. They just want the security in the relationship with their person. They just want the emotional connection. They want the spiritual connection. They want the family connection. They want the physical connection. They want to start a family. They want to have children. They want to get married. They want to get engaged. If that's you, then the biggest focus for you and your self-concept needs to be safety, stability, security. That's why she and I created these lowering stress protocols that worked for her so that she could stay the course, right? And not letting little things, like imagine all those little things. If she got off track for each one and then was like, going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to find a new manifestation technique. I'm going to revamp my mental diet. I'm going to think of a whole new list of affirmations because what I'm doing is wrong. Okay. It's like if you didn't see progress in your gym regime and you were like, I'm done with this. I'm going to totally revamp it. It's not working. Okay. No, you want to stay the course. Stay the course. All right. So bottom line is, you guys, the thoughts you've been thinking, who you were in the situation was not created by you. It is not your fault. You are not the one to blame. Okay. But as you progress and as you change, you want to be your dependable accountability partner. Rely on someone who can help you just like she did. Okay. So consistency matters, like all things. And that's how you create the security and the stability with your person. Excuse me. We're having a lot of winds where I live right now in the air outside. Like there's like a wind advisory. We never really have those. So all the stuff is like getting in everyone's throats. But I'm intending for a clean, healthy weekend. Okay. Even my eyes are a little bit red. Anyone see? Okay. So this is not rocket science. Okay. It is not the end of the world, whatever has happened to you, because you can 100% recreate it. She was also very, very clear with me. She felt hopeless. She felt hopeless. She also felt not even just desperate and wanting for him, but desperate for herself to feel better, feel more grounded, feel more connected, you know? So that's also the beauty of working with someone, because then you've got someone that then you say to yourself, okay, I had a couple clients this week who were really down and out, really going through some difficult times, or just things had really affected them during the holidays. I totally get it. And they said to themselves, I'm going to talk to Alexis and I'm going to feel better by the end of the session. And I said, you guys, thank you so much, because then I also say the right thing and then you feel better. We always want you to feel better at the end of a session as best as you can. If you're going through, something that is not exactly what you're wanting. All right. So let's do this, you guys. Let's have a great year. Let's create 2026 to be prosperous, healthy, full of fun and excitement, having a good time, right? If you're in a part of the world where you're going through anything with the weather, I am sending love and light to you and saying prayers for you and for you to be safe and secure and to have a great year. Okay. All right, you guys. So that's my video for the week, and I will see you in my next one. I think that's it. All right. And remind yourself how amazing and wonderful and beautiful you are. Make sure that you are transmitting all those thoughts into yourself, because you are. And the only one that can create your reality and recreate it is you. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Have an awesome day. All right. Bye.